Beautiful.
It is cool. Let me try this here. Oh my goodness. My friend has just made this beautiful dessert for me. Let's see. Are we live? Are we live?
We are.
Well, hello. Pardon me. Sorry. Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to HoGaLe's Global Astrology. Know your planets, know yourself. Forgive me. Sorry that we're a little bit late today. I was adding some last minute questions in, different stuff like that. Literally, the ladies have not had their usual 2-minute briefing. It's literally nothing. We've literally just gone live.
Hello,
so,
let's go live.
Indeed. So to my side, we have Lady G, who is looking much better and seems to have fully recovered from her COVID, but we need to know. And of course, down under, we have Dr. Lena Rodriguez, who is live with us Sunday morning, her time. So for Lena, it is actually New Year's Eve. So before we begin the show, though, how are you feeling, Lady G? Are you feeling better?
Yeah, I still have a little bit of a cough going and things, but yeah, much better than I was for sure.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And I've just seen the WhatsApp from you, Lena, saying, "Where are you, doll?" I was scrummaging around. I mean, we had a brilliant day today. We went out, and it's so cool because my friends have got a kid, and so we're getting to do lots of fun kids stuff, scavenging on the beach and all sorts. And there's some real characters that live around here where I'm staying with my friends. It's a whole complex. Anyway, so before we start, please, of course, don't forget to like and subscribe and press the bell notification if you'd like to support HoGaLe's. So much appreciated. And of course, if you would like the details to Lena's and Lady G's channel, they are in the video description below. I've already kind of put those bits in, so you can do that there. And of course, like and subscribe and share. And for those that are curious, you've been asking me more questions about the Rome retreat thing in October next year. Click in and you can click on the email thing, and there's all sorts of details for that, but I will do a separate video. Some of you have asked for a separate video, but we'll leave it there for now. Ladies, are we ready to get stuck in?
Yes, and thank you, Alma, for your donation. That's our first donation today. That's very kind.
Oh, wonderful. And my friend has made me this wonderful pudding, which I'm trying not to dive into, but it is delicious. Right, okay, so first question in. And this has come in from Patricia Franzino, and it is a Rudy Giuliani question. I'm just going to get into the comments just to bring out the detail of it, but I've numbered the questions. Let's see if I can get back in here. 1 minute. Un momento. And let's hopefully my internet will come back up. But it is about, I didn't actually know this, but it's Mayor Giuliani. Did you know that he got an honorary knighthood? Did you hear about this?
I heard that they were thinking of taking it away. I didn't realize he had one till then.
Right, precisely. So here we are. Here's the question here. So Patricia asked, on February 13th, 2002, Queen Elizabeth awarded Giuliani with an honorary knighthood for services during 9/11. If he is convicted, there is a discussion going on of revoking it. Will there be enough political will in the UK to forfeit his knighthood? So let's read on that. And let me grab my cards.
Okay. Well, here we go. Revoke his knighthood. I'll just dive in, keep it all moving.
I can't find my cards. Give me a moment.
It's all right. We'll keep the show going, Lady G. Okay.
Oh my God. Where are they? They were under this funny present that I've been given. That now I've got them.
Darling, that's a beach bag. We used to have them in the 60s and 70s.
It's a kind of mask, actually. But anyway, Lena, go for it if you're ready.
What are you doing, luchador? Are you going to be the luchador next week? Who are you wrestling?
It's very different here in
Five
Mexico.
of Pentacles here that he could well lose it. This card even looks like Giuliani. Look at this.
Oh, wow.
Okay, King of Swords talking up large. And then we've got the Nine of Wands here. I think this represents the discussion around it, as if Brits don't have enough to worry about as well as bad nights, you know. But if anything, whether it's a Pulitzer Prize or a Peace Prize or a knighthood is to mean anything, and I'm allergic to knighthoods because of my political history, but if they're to mean anything, you can't have convicted felons and stuff running around with a knighthood, right? Queen of Coins, Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Somewhere. I think they will pull the plug. Probably just quietly, they'll just cut him off the Knights Register.
Interessante. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, overriding it is the card of the wish fulfilling, and he climbed up to that area. But underneath of it all, we have the unhappiness and misery. We have a strong opinion with that. Above it, we have, of course, this is an emotional issue that they want to walk away from when it comes to him. Going into it, you know, they had given him this and it was all good at the beginning, but now they're looking at the history of it, what he's doing now, the hidden things that are coming up. And so the challenge is Trump and the whole Trumpian saga, you know, and what's going on. So above it, we have this investigation that they're working on. So it looks like, again, underneath of it all, that they are not happy with it. And I think, again, they're climbing the thing as to what they had given him. And they should have never given him the knighthood to begin with. So, yeah, I think also, as Lena says, I think it will be rescinded.
I think we should also ask Shakespeare as well, after I've done my reading, what he thinks of Giuliani. And on my Thursday fry-up, I forgot to ask the Bard what he thought of Nikki Haley. So maybe we could kind of...
We're getting requests in the comments, so we've got 2 bards today.
Brilliant, brilliant. All right, let's have a little look-see. So what do I have here? It's so interesting because, in a way, with these political readings that we do, would you agree, ladies, that maybe some of what would once be considered fabulous cards become somewhat compromised and tainted when we're talking about these readings? So here we are, we have the Star card show up, and we all know this is shorthand as well now for what? Duck L'Orange and the narcissist, yeah? I interpret this card as, with all of the stars here, this normally means the universe has your back. You know, it's one of the best cards in the deck. But I've come to interpret this as Duck L'Orange, the narcissist, but anyone who is also clamoring for fame. So really, this is speaking about both of them, but also as well Duck L'Orange, because Giuliani was his lawyer after all. But he's also a malignant narcissist as well, for entertainment purposes only, but, you know, it's pretty much one and the same. So here's Giuliani sitting there. If we look here, it's so interesting. We get the Knight of Pentacles. Now, the Knight of Pentacles is considered the steady, loyal servant, the loyal knight going forth. It can also speak about money, but also values, but it's turning up in the obstacle position. So it can be considered reversed. One of the reverse interpretations can be the mercenary, yeah, the loyal mercenary. So, of course, you see Spirit is tuning in. The loyal mercenary to Duck L'Orange. Makes sense, doesn't it? There's Duck L'Orange. That's him. Now, what has this brought Giuliani? All of this loyalty, all of this fealty to the orange man. Oh dear, heartache. Nothing but heartache. And regards to this, of course, the knighthood and stuff like that, this is really suggesting that it's probably unlikely that he's going to be able to keep it, because he is so tainted, so tainted. Pardon me. If we look here, we have got the Page of Pentacles, and of course pages are all about messaging and stuff like that. And again, I think this is talking about the money, but in the seedy kind of sense, all of the law cases, all of the lawsuits and stuff like that. And here, if we see in the outcome card, I think this is speaking about Giuliani, who's probably wishing that he had his former life back in some kind of way. Do you remember when he used to be so esteemed back in the day for reducing crime in New York?
Yes, but I think people, particularly in New York, sort of knew there was more to Giuliani. Because there is word that to clean up the Italian mafia, he brought in the Russian mafia.
Oh my goodness.
Can't verify that, but under his watch, what happened was the Russian crime syndicates did take over New York. So New York people can get back to us. Is that wrong, right? Or
absolutely. Let us know it in the comments, folks. But here we've got this sense of nostalgia. I mean, part of this, in terms of the British perspective, it would be like, well, maybe we should stick with our traditional knights anyway. Not that any of them are necessarily perfect, but also as well, I would really strongly get the sense, particularly because you see the knight, the Three of Swords in the middle. He probably misses his former life, and he probably regrets ever fully getting into bed with Duc L'Orange. That's my little spiel. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Well, I hope he does. I think he's so crazy now. I don't know where he's going to go next. But Sharon in the comments says she's surprised Santos wasn't knighted for 9/11. See?
Oh my God, that is a Brit. You guys are so funny. That is an indeed. I'm sure that will be coming up in his memoirs quite soon, which will just be worth reading for great acts of fiction in any case anyway. So is it true? Is it fiction? We'll never know with that guy, but I'm sure the book will be very entertaining and gossipy once he gets his little thing out.
Oh, it's the only political book I'm going to read this decade. I can't.
Yeah, I think so. I would agree. Shall we see what the Bard has to say about Giuliani?
I think we should. And while you're getting your book ready, Nancy says, yes, Lena, Giuliani screwed the poor in New York City, because cleaning up a city is code for getting rid of poor people who lower the tone, you know, like, so there was all of that stuff.
Whose turn is it to call on the book today? Is it Lady G or you?
Lady G.
Oh, is it my turn? Okay.
All right. Now, my screen for Lady G has frozen, but can everyone else see her just fine?
Yeah, and she's moving. Right. It's just you.
All right. Right. Okay. So, Lady G, I'm going to flick through. This is what the Bard thinks of Giuliani, and then we'll look at Nikki Haley. But tell me where to stop when you see what the Bard thinks.
Stop.
Oh, there. Oh. This is okay. Here's what the Bard has to say.
Julian.
There's on this page here. This is from a comedy of errors. It says, "Thou whoreson and senseless villain." Yeah. Ooh. So whoreson means literally son of a whore. Yeah. Yeah. Entertainment purposes only. On the other page here. So it says here, it is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Macbeth.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it, isn't it?
That could be shared. I think a few of them would deserve that.
Wow. Yeah, from it is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing. Is that not just the big lie wrapped up right there? Wow.
Exactly. And harassing those poor women, the election workers, still.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he's still naming them and harassing them.
Is it? Oh, God, just ridiculous, isn't it? Ridiculous. All right, let's do another question, and then we'll get the bard to speak on Nikki Haley. There's a Biden question coming up, and this one could be controversial, ladies, so I'm just letting you know, but we got to read on, the questions that come. So this one has come in from Nicola McClafferty. Let's just find the question so I can give the full readout on it. Oh, come on. Sorry, my phone was playing up. Let's see here. Do the cards want to give us as a community guidance for 2024? Thanks for all the fab shows, and here's to many more next year. So I think that's quite a nice one. Let's see what it has to say, what our cards have to say.
Or should we save that for last?
Actually, yeah, let's save that for last. That's a good question.
We need to save 5 minutes for that question.
You're right. I think let's save it for last. So let's just put that here. Let's just put here, just right here last. And we'll see what it has to say. All right, you know what? Let's ask here. Let's you know what? Let's dive in on the Biden one. Yeah, let's dive in on the Biden one. Sure. Let's see. Now, this has come in from, now remember guys, we take in the questions. The show is based on your questions, essentially, whether pre-written or live. Now, I think this has come in from an American voter, an American person who's currently in England. See what you think of this, ladies. One minute. Let me just find the full un momento. Let's put this in like this, and let's find where it is here. So this is coming from ZZZT3UK. Anyway, so she says, "Hi Hogarth and ladies. I'm in the UK and read an article today in the Independent that Biden is potentially making the same mistakes that Bush did after 9/11. Ooh. That Biden has shown potentially poor judgment in greenlighting the destruction of Gaza." So this is already quite a contentious point already. Some would say he's not greenlighting, but let's just carry on. It has been infuriating to watch Biden embolden Israel and provide US arms, killing double the amount of children and people, but it's more than double. I think at the moment, what's the death toll now, Lena? Is it over 20,000?
It's over 20,000 and over 8,000 kids.
Oh my God, it's even worse, even more horrific than I thought. This is something I didn't know. So she says here, it's killed the double amount of children and people in just 2 months than in the Ukraine war in 2 years. Now, I didn't know this. South Africa has also just filed a genocide case to the World Court in Israel. Is this correct? Is this correct?
Yes.
Wow. My question is, how do people really feel now about Biden? And she's saying, as I would not vote for him after this. Wow. How is the world feeling about the USA, and has its world standing weakened? So I think let's break that down into 3 sections. We've got time. So how are people feeling about Biden? Let's just maybe read on that. And before we start, ladies, what are your thoughts on what I've just read out? How do you feel this might play out politically?
I think Biden's in a very, very difficult spot here, because the reflex in the USA has always been to support Israel regardless, for historical reasons. I think what's happened in Gaza has taken everything to a new dimension in terms of what is happening. If you think that Gaza is only 25 miles long, and they've been bombed for 10 weeks, 25 miles of land for 10. You see what I mean? It's such a huge, some are arguing it's a disproportionate response. It's very difficult. But in terms of Biden, I think he wasn't prepared for the fallout, that's for sure. That much we can say with confidence. Whether it'll last, like this viewer, to the voting poll, because there are other issues that are very important in the American context. So it's a difficult moral dilemma for people.
Yeah, she's saying she doesn't want to vote for him, and that's her choice, and she shouldn't be slated for that, by the way. I don't want anyone making nasty comments against this person, anything like that. Everyone, yeah, when they contribute to the show, people contribute and they ask their questions, and we just read them without bias. But I don't want any abuse against this person, because I want to create a space where people can feel they can talk about things, and you know, that's her honest view. Or his view, I don't know, it says easy. Right,
And,
okay.
Sorry, just one more thing. Australians were surprised to find out this week that we've been selling arms to Israel too. So regardless of where people sit on the fence, it was news to most Australians that we were even arms manufacturers at all. So
Wow. Wow. Very interesting.
So we're looking at Biden.
Yes, exactly. In terms of, let me just find the bit here. How do people really feel about Biden now? As I would not vote for him after this, was the first part of that question from Zizi.
Well, let's say, will he lose votes over this issue? Is that it?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Oh no.
Who's ready to go? I've actually got my cards. Would you like me to go?
Yeah, you go.
Yeah. All right. Very contentious questions. So, all right. Okay. We look here. We have got the Queen of Pentacles. The Queen of Pentacles. And of course, as we read on this card, this is often the safe pair of hands. Yeah, this is the card of usual domesticity, but it also can deal with budgets as well, budgeting things out. What this says to me here is that in a way, not in a way, people do see Biden as a safe pair of hands. Of course they do. They see Biden as a safe pair of hands. In comparison, of course, to picking Duck L'Orange, oh my God, and all of the crazy batshit, you know, that he's got, Project 25 and all of this far right stuff behind him, he is seen as that safe pair of hands in comparison with that. But what we need to remember is the Queen is holding onto the coin quite nervously. It doesn't depict it so much in this one, but there is a fear that the coin could be dropped. Yeah, that the stability could be lost. We've got to always remember that with the Queen of Pentacles. But look what's in the obstacle position. Immense worry and sleepless nights. I think the stuff that's been happening in between Gaza and Israel has really, it's affected a lot of people's mental health. I've been told that personally in the comments. But I think this is starting to prove a bit of a political nightmare. What I've done first is I've put a link to a BBC article. So this isn't even USA, BBC, who interviewed American youth. And according to them, I think it's over 70% of American youth disapprove of Biden's stance. I'm not pulling this out of the air. Read the article for yourself, guys. Obviously, it's a different age demographic here, but this is a big deal. And I think this could start becoming a political headache for the Dems and for Biden. If we look here, what's in the middle, I think there's a sense of disillusionment here. You know, people are, it's like choosing between plague or cholera, isn't it? I mean, when you think of Duck L'Orange and him getting into power, that just fills people with absolute anguish. But there are a lot of people that feel deep conflicted emotions about the stance in Israel versus Gaza right now. Of course, Israel have the right to defend itself. You know, they were attacked, but there's also things that have emerged, haven't they? Emerged out of the dark, which is that Netanyahu and his security team were forewarned of this attack, but didn't act. And they had a year's notice. They just didn't think it was possible. So you see here, this is like the lobster kind of coming out. Everyone is howling at the moon. This is causing a lot of problems and a lot of angst and anguish. I think this card is talking more about Biden here. I think he really is stuck between a rock and a hard place now. He really is, because in the early days, I think there would have been more space to maneuver. But as things have gone on, people have begun to associate him. And I'm not saying this is fair, because I don't think it necessarily is, but they're attaching him to what is happening in Gaza right now. And certainly the youth are seeing it that way. So that's not politically very good. I'm just reading the cards, guys. The outcome here is, look, it's the 7 of Cups, that there's choices to be made, but this is talking about maybe there's an element here of delusion and confusion. I'm not sure if Biden has recognized just how politically damaging this is becoming. I know no one wants to hear this. I'm just reading the cards. The other thing, what I want to say as well, is someone told me in the comments that apparently Netanyahu hung up the phone to Biden and just said, this conversation is over. Yeah. So there's going to have to be a sense of realism here. Maybe America and this administration might have to reassess its relationship with Israel, but with Bibi in particular. There's an element here where there could be a little bit of delusion, or maybe not seeing things clearly. That's my read. Who would like to go next?
I can, if you like.
Sure.
Or do you want to, Lady G?
No, not particularly.
Okay. All right. I get the it's not fun. The 4 of Wands, the wedding card, this I think represents the traditional relationship between the US and Israel. And now it's been called into question. Prior presidents haven't had to do a great deal of thinking about this because it was always in lockstep. Now the State Department and the Pentagon and everywhere else are being forced to have to think and reevaluate what the relationship's going to be. And they don't know what to do about it with this 5 of Wands. Everyone's got a point of view behind the scenes, but it's like there isn't a clear exit ramp, you know, in this thing. So I think what will happen, compromise, for Biden politically, which is what this question is about, his best bet is to keep pushing and trying for a ceasefire. He has to be seen to be pushing for a ceasefire to give him some breathing space politically. That's what I get for this.
Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the overview of the reading is about the message about the actions, and what's underneath of it all is trying to keep a lid on things. At the center of it, he's just hamstrung with it, tied up with what's happening. Because in the past, they were working on things, and so he had to go forward to support it. The challenge is, you know, the karma card, what people are going to think about it. And the outcome is this is a new emotional drama and issue that's going to take place. So, you know, this is not looking good for Biden, but what could he do? You know, they really push to support Israel, even though what Israel is doing now is just heinous.
It's also not a single homogenous bloc in Israel. Like Ehud Olmert, the previous prime minister, has said to Netanyahu, there has to be a ceasefire and a cessation of hostilities and to work on getting the remaining hostages out. So it's not a single bloc, it's complicated in the extreme.
Very.
But I'd just like to make one other point here before we move on. Muslim voters in the US who are distressed by this are saying we're not going to vote for Democrats. The problem for them is if they vote for Trump, he has said he'll reintroduce a Muslim ban outright.
Mhm.
So they're between a rock and a hard place. Do they not vote? Do they change their minds at some point? What is that choice?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm.
There's so much. It's just so unbelievable, and and that's why I said in my Thursday Friday, the 2024 election, there's going to be a lot of surprises there. There's going to be a lot of surprises because people are torn. People are torn. So we'll see. I just want to click up here though. I want to thank some people as we move on to the next question. It might take a while to click up. So NH Mountain Dancer, thank you so much for your donation. There's one here as well from Ernie's mom. I'm going to click up on them. This is my slower laptop, so hopefully it will go.
Mom. And just here in the comment about Giuliani too. Yes, Giuliani married his cousin, got rid of the Italian mob for the Russian and Chinese mob when he's Italian himself. Yes, so I wasn't making that up. He did that.
My goodness, my goodness. And if you heard a little pop click in the background, that was a mosquito biting the dust. They're coming for me now. I managed to slap down a few just before I began. And thank you, Gloria Estella, as well, for your donation as well. Thank you so much as well to everyone who's joining us live. We have 1,440 with us live right now. So that's now it's 1,444 with us live now. Thank you so much. Oh, did you hear that? That was my friend Sylvia down in the kitchen. She just shouted. Thank you everyone for joining us. All right, are we ready for the next question?
Yeah.
We ready for the next question, ladies? All right, now this is an interesting one. So let's just see 1 minute. Let me just get up my phone again so you can see, so I can read the full thing. Un momento. This is about corporations. Here we are. So this is coming from Kayo. And they say, will there be a reckoning with the corporations who want to own everything, i.e. your phone, your television, your washer dryer, etc.? I heard a story yesterday that a person's car software could not upgrade, so it couldn't start. Yeah? The car couldn't start without the upgrade. Will the revolt begin? Will ordinary people win?
Oh, a question close to my heart at all times of the day and night.
Well, we know, Lena, that you're fond of a little bit of a revolution, aren't you? Died in the Do you know what I think, Lena? I think listen, folks, I think when Lena was born, after she came out of her blessed mother, I think there was a protest flag that came out as part of the center. Yeah, she's a proper rebel.
Let's have a look. Oh God!
So will people fight?
So how do we sum it up? Will people start to push back on this corporate ownership?
Yeah. Let's say, will people fight back against corporate kleptocracy? Which I think is fair to say. Will people fight back against corporate?
Oh.
God, deep questions today, isn't it? Bloody hell. We'll do Nikki Haley after this. Let's see. Will people fight back?
Oh, this is very interesting.
Kleptocracy. I mean, everything has to be an app, everything has to be a subscription, everything has to know your location, everything is all connected together. You don't pay this or that bill, you get cut off, especially with the smart money. Oh my God, just wait for that.
Oh God, yes. And I think it's Sweden or somewhere that's ditched currency and it's now all cards. That freaks me out no end.
Wow. Who's ready to go first?
Well, I can.
All right, go for it.
So we have the Page of Pentacles here, a message about money. So that's first out of the gate in that sense. People looking at their money and how far it does and doesn't go. That's led to them feeling, look at this for a double rip-off. Okay,
Wow.
you've got the Five of Swords and the Seven of Swords. So it's like people are sick of being at the mercy of this. No matter what you do, it's a real struggle to tread water, let alone get ahead. And that feeling, I mean, just in turn, we're sports people in this house. And now the tennis has just moved to a different channel. Do we pay more money now to watch the tennis? It used to all be on one thing. So if you want to watch cricket, you've got to get one platform. If you want to watch this, you know, everything's on a different, this is just an example. I think people by and large, they're waiting for an inspired moment. I think this might come in the form, perhaps, that, no, I don't think, unfortunately, I wish it was different. I don't think people are going to rise up in the old traditional way, but there needs to be an inspiration. So like Greta Thunberg became the name for young people and climate change, there needs to be a figurehead or someone who transforms how people think about this issue, some very clever, doable response or something truly magical has to happen for people to be motivated and hold these companies accountable. Why do you and I pay more tax than Google? There is something fundamentally wrong with that sentence, right?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. Lady G, what do you have?
Well, the overriding thing is that 10 of Wands, but people are getting beat to death with this stuff. And so underneath of it all, you know, we're looking at it as a people. At the center, women are wanting to hold on to more power with things, move this to a different conversation and end some of this drama that's going on. In the past, we've had families, and now people are starting to talk more about what's happening with the community and the short-term success they've had with things, because the challenge is, you know, what the payoff is with anything. And so the mental stuff, they are just revving up the mind spin with it, and anchoring into friends. So I think that they're talking amongst themselves much more, wanting to get involved with it to make some changes. They've said, you know, enough is enough. We're just tired of getting beat up with this stuff.
And there's a bit more kind of reaction here as well before I read my cards, where I'm just going to click up here where someone has said, I think it's Julie McNeely. Let me just see, my computer's taken a while to get the comment up. I might have to click off the comments. It's taking a bit long. Can you see it? 1 minute. Just see if it's done it.
I might be able to see it, Julie.
It's here we are. She says, I hope world leaders will get together and strategically, I can't see it now, it's not working for some reason, and strategically and collectively deal with Netanyahu. So there's that, and there's another person, which is Etienne Lemaine, says, terrible what's going on in Gaza. Netanyahu needs to be removed from office and face the criminal charges he would have faced if he wasn't put back in office. It's a lesson to Americans. Vote blue. Very interesting comment. All right, let's click back on the live stream and I will read my cards. So again, the corporate entities and all of this stuff. Will there be a fight back? Oh, here we are. So let me click off. Oh, it's taken a while to sort itself off. 1 second. Just my computer's a bit delayed, folks. I'll get rid of those comments. It's just taken a little while. Anyway, if we look here, corporate entities, look, here they are. King of Pentacles. There it is, straight up, straight down. These are, of course, the money men in the world. Yeah, these are the money people. The ones that are basically effectively paying less tax than their cleaners that clean their offices. Yeah, they don't want to change. They're happy where they are. They're established and they wish to maintain their legacies. Let's just put it that way. Oh, I want to click off this comment. Sorry, my computer's really delayed. Oh, you can't see it. Perfect. Good. Okay, it's just for my screen is being a bit slow. So if we look here, what is this all about? It's almost, this is like a two-way street. This is industry with the Hermit card, thinking up of ever more ways to, what I would say, Netflixify everything. What do I mean by that? Why do I say that? It's all about a subscription. I don't know if people have heard, but there was a certain guy, Carl Schwab, who's like, you will own nothing and be happy. But you notice how everything is a subscription model now. Even Spotify, and stuff like that. You have to pay a subscription per month. You even see it here on, darling, YouTube. You guys know they flood our videos, particularly this videos, with a whole ton of ads because they want you to pay for the YouTube subscription, again, for entertainment purposes only. So this is the men of industry working harder, researching ways that they can get even stronger. And of course, AI will be part of that. But what this is also saying is that we need to do our homework. We need to go within and we really need to start pushing back against this stuff and being like, do I really need a subscription for this? Do I really need a subscription for that? How much is this affecting my life? If we look here in the middle, I think this is another double meaning. This could speak about the Biden administration, or shall we say the White House, whoever is making the laws, even though this deals with real estate and stuff. It's kind of political, so this is often the White House. If it is the White House, this is going to be about legislation. Legislation needs to be passed to stop a lot of this profiteering. My American clients tell me everything about how much stuff is like a ripoff. And I say you get nickeled and dimed for everything in the USA, and it needs to stop. The burden of cost is starting to become too much for people. You have to rent your car. You have to rent this. Soon you have to rent your fridge. A lot of people are literally buying food with credit and pay later. Buy now, pay later with food. So this is also, to me, this is talking about the burden of debt. As we know, credit card debt in the USA has has gone over 1 trillion for the first time in its history. So people are too burdened by debt. But I think the corporations are still going to try and figure out ways that they can entangle and entrap people. The Eight of Swords is about a situation you get into where, but you may have created that pickle yourself. So, we always kind of click on, they give us these long disclaimers, don't I? When they update things, how many of us actually go through the 14-page document of amendment? To check. We don't, do we? We just go click. And then we realize we've signed our life and our house away later. So it's kind of, I don't think they are going to stop. And I think it's more about us as consumers disentangling ourselves. Anything to add to that, ladies?
No.
Well, Ashley in the comments here says, stock buybacks by CEOs. Because part of the problem is companies used to actually service the customer. Do you remember that? And then they became a service to their board. Every big company has a board. And then they buy back their own stocks, which causes, as Ashley says, inflation. And we should start calling it greedflation. Every country's actually suffering from greedflation.
Absolutely. While at the same time, we've also got shrinkflation. Have you heard of this one?
No,
where you
tell
pay
me about
the same or
shrinkflation.
more. Oh yeah, shrinkflation is so like you get a packet of crisps. Sorry, a digression.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
There's
having a
three chips.
digression. But do you remember once upon a time, I don't know if you can do it in the USA, but in the UK, you used to be able to throw a packet of crisps from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah.
You can't do that in the UK. You throw it and it goes like this.
Yeah.
Because there's hardly anything in it. They are costing you the same, if not more, but it's smaller. So now our chocolate bars are smaller. They cost
Yeah.
more, but they're also smaller. And we call it shrinkflation.
I love that.
And
Well,
yeah,
I don't think America's suffering from shrinkflation so much. The portions of everything are so gigantic in the US.
that's
But
true.
they've got every other sort of flation, for sure.
Yeah, indeed. Shall we have another Shakespeare interlude and see what he thinks of Nikki Haley?
Oh, yeah. Oh, look,
Yeah.
she's keeping me up at night. Oh, God, Nikki Haley.
Now, do you remember I said, folks, I've mentioned it before. I said she is the dark horse. I just knew they were going to throw money behind it. Doesn't mean she's going to win, folks. It doesn't necessarily mean she's going to win, but I'm not surprised that she's doing a lot better. All right, Lena, it's your turn. This is the Bard's view of Nikki Haley. I'm going to flick you. Tell me where to stop.
Okay. Okay, stop.
Oh, I lost that page. This is very interesting. It's like, this is really interesting. One may smile and be a villain.
It's
Isn't
not
that
even cryptic.
interesting? From Hamlet. I like that. One may smile and be a villain. Don't you think that kind of sums up Nikki Haley? Because she
Yeah.
tries to present herself, I'm the sane, rational one, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm not crazy at all. And then she comes out with this wacky whack job stuff, you know, not being able to say what the Civil War was about, which anyone who even has a flirting understanding of American history all knows it was fought over the slavery and stuff like that. I think that's really interesting. And the other page, it says, his treasons will sit blushing in his face. Richard II.
Oh.
So she's having a blush at the moment, isn't she? Because she's having to backtrack. But I think one may smile and be a villain. I think that's Nikki Haley.
Yes, I think it sums her up really well. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. So in the comments, yes, there is shrinkflation in the US. Smaller bags of spinach and all food for higher prices. Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course. On the healthy stuff, of course. Eggs being... God. All right, let's see here. So we did the corporation stuff. Oh, here we are. We need to read on Texas. Yeah. Now, folks, you will remember, you know, I've been talking about the eclipses. X marks the spot. Yeah. The October eclipse, solar eclipse of 2023 went through one way, Mexico, Texas. The eclipse of 2024, April 8th, 2024, crosses through the other way. And do you remember I said there's going to be something about the border? Do you remember me saying there's going to be something about the border? From what I understand is that the DOJ are suing Texas because Texas has just taken up a, do you know about this, ladies? Texas has just taken up a zero tolerance policy where basically anyone that crosses the border without papers will basically get arrested. Did you hear about this?
I think it's already been happening effectively. But anyway, yes.
Well, I think it's become a state law, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday, something like that. Now, because of that, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, is going to start suing Texas. So it looks like that prophecy that I made is already coming true. So what I've written here is what's going to happen with the Texas border situation. Will Texas rebel against the DOJ? So let's maybe have that as a two-hander. What will happen with the border, and then will Texas rebel?
Texas rebel. Teresa says, I'm waiting for 10 eggs to be a dozen. Yeah.
I know, it's just ridiculous, isn't it, folks? It's just my goodness.
Texas and the border. Because under international law, it is not illegal to seek asylum. It is not an illegal act. And Australia has the worst immigration policy in the world. It's as bad as anything Texas could dream up. Thank God Texas doesn't look any further. If they'd discovered what we did for 20 years, they'd be onto it.
God. Let's see what's going to happen with the Texas border. And the next one will be, will Texas rebel? I just really feel there's just big, it's already happening, but there's going to be big news out of Texas over for all of 2024.
Yeah. And if you'd come from Texas and you're feeling isolated, there are really good commentators on YouTube. It started with Texas Paul, but now I think there's 3 or 4 of them. And they've got their Stetsons on and they've got the accent, but they're Democrats and they slam Republicans and they do a great job of it. So what's happening?
Who's ready to go?
I'm not, because I've been talking.
I'll go.
Go for it.
So the overview is the strength of what they're doing now, the actions that they're doing. Usually this is one where you're trying to, you're up against the edge. So underneath of this is what is moving rapidly. Okay. There are those that are distancing themselves from it. And going into it, we have the nightmare scenario that's going on. And of course, now we have, you know, he's holding on to power and all the drama. The challenge is this being juggled, and the outcome is there are those that want to block this, that, you know, are saying enough is enough. So I'm thinking that they will have those that are going to continue to try to stop what Texas is doing, the craziness that they're up to.
Yeah. Well,
yeah, go on. Oh, no, go on, Lena. It's just that my picture for Lady G has frozen, so it's just thrown me off a bit. I couldn't actually see when she finished, but Lena, if you'd like.
Now, people walking away from their home countries is only going to accelerate. This problem isn't going away, right? Now, people don't leave their homes by choice as a rule. Most people, if they can survive there, they will. So this is desperate people will continue to come. Now, this is people working together, but in the sense of dark money, in the context of this spread. It could be people putting their heads together, trying to come up with some sort of workable solution, but that would be a dream. So this is how to make it harder for everybody, you know. So you've got the Queen of Swords here. This is the legal wrangle that's heading into Texas versus DOJ. The courts are going to try and look for some sort of temperance, but I doubt they're going to see it. The judgment here. And so I don't know if a judgment against Texas would make any difference or not. You know, I think the judgment will go against them. They're not actually allowed to do this, but I don't think it will stop them.
All right. I've got some interesting cards. 5 cards pulled, 3 major arcana. So we know straight away that's a big deal, isn't it? So if we look here, the first card I find very interesting. It is the Empress. Now, as you know, I normally associate this card with Russia, but of course, this can also represent America as well. But I think this is actually peculiar to Texas in this particular one. I think this is Texas being like, you know what? We've got oil. We're self-sufficient. Push comes to shove, we'll just secede, yeah, which is something else that I was talking about as well. But I think this is how the state of Texas feels about itself in the collective. It feels bountiful, it feels able, it feels like it's got options. Unless, of course, there's a minus cold plunge, and then everything, you know, your spinning fan, your cooler fan freezes, and all of your pipes burst. But apart from that, I think Texans in general feel quite self-sufficient. They were like, we used to be an independent state before, we can be so again because we are so bountiful. I think that's part of what's going on in the collective. Maybe not, but that's how I'm reading it. In the obstacle position, we actually have the victory card here. So really, okay, what is the victory card? It can be, you know, victory, etc., going forward with success. But if we consider the card reversed, it can also mean pride before a fall. So there could be an element here where maybe Texas has maybe got a little bit too confident, or maybe too boisterous, perhaps, because like Lena says, there are international laws in regards to, you know, being a refugee and stuff like that. So maybe they're kind of overdoing it a bit, over egging the pudding. If we look here, though, in the middle, we've got the Tower card, which is really what the whole reading is about. I'm still not sure what the exact thing is yet, but the border is part of it, and I still think that Texas may surprise us with something. I still think they might pull this, you know, secede card. I'm not saying it's gonna happen, but they're gonna give us a few surprises, because I think they've got ideas of their own, yeah, down in Texas. If we look here, there's going to be a Sword of Truth moment. We've got the Ace of Swords here. So I think it's this kind of energy of, you know what, and bust. It's something that rhymes with hit. You know, they say it a lot in Australia, and we say a lot in the UK, but we try and be polite here. But just imagine hit or bust, yeah? But you just put an S in front of hit, and then you know what I'm talking about. So I think there's an element here where there is this Sword of Truth in regards to really what is going on within Texas. But I think this is Texas' view of itself. Let's not forget that this blade is about slicing and cutting and stuff like that. And I think this is them wanting to kind of, in a way, almost slice on that immigration. Why? When we look here, look at the outcome card. The moon turns up again. And what this shows is that there's a tremendous amount of tumultuousness, things that are hard to see, many different narratives going on within Texas at the same time. And I think it's not just the border. I think there's other things. I think it's the unresolved issues around, you know, the Civil War, like the reasons why Nikki Haley didn't feel she could say what the Civil War was about. Do you know what I mean? It's a lot of things with this. Anything to add to that, ladies?
Yeah, Kathleen O'Malley says Texas is turning purple. And I actually agree. I think the hard line, old school, let's say, Texas couldn't be further from purple if you were doing colour. But they're literally dying out. And younger people have different views. And Austin and Houston are university cities, et cetera, It's attracting more Silicon Valley sort of high-tech types. It's changing. But here's the thing. If I had my way, Texas, of course, used to be Mexico. So that was only, 1860s or something. It's not back in the dark ages. If you look at the United States without what was taken from Mexico during those Mexican wars, you know, they always name the war after the enemy, you know. So,
Shall we do a one
to keep its country?
Indeed.
And got beaten by a bigger. Sorry, Lena G.
Wait a minute. We did. Everyone read, didn't they? Everyone read on
Yep.
the question. Yeah. So I was just gonna ask. Let's do a one-card pull to see, will Texas rebel? Are they going to fight against the DOJ? And we'll do a one-card
right.
pull, which will close the show. How about that? Will Texas rebel? In a kind of one last gung-ho, let rip kind of doodah. Texas. Will Texas rebel? After 3. Okay. 1, 2, 3.
Oh, okay.
Ooh. All right, Lena, how do you
say yes? You know, because it's all those things you started the question with. The Texas ID is so huge.
And what's your card, Lena? I can't quite read
card.
It. Strength. Oh, okay. Oh, I see it now. Lady G, how do you interpret your card?
Yeah, there's going to be a movement, definitely.
Look, Lady G, they're policing the border.
Yeah.
Looking at the border.
I mean, literally, look at the card, folks. That is like, wow. And here I've got the King of Pentacles, and I think that says a lot. There is money behind this. And there is a sense, I think, where Texas is like, we are bountiful, we are wealthy. If we're going to do it, let's just do it. Come hell or high water, we don't give a damn anymore. You can't have 2 eclipse paths pass through a state and not have massive things happen. So it looks like, they might rebel, folks. They might rebel.
Yeah. And I think Texas isn't going to progress until they get rid of Abbott. They have to get rid of that governor from hell.
It's the worst.
Yeah, indeed. Well, folks, can you believe it? Almost 1,700 of you joined us live this evening.
Wow, guys,
1,700.
That's amazing.
Yeah, almost 1,700, just a few shy, but and that's when I looked. It probably went over. So thank you, everyone who joined us this evening.
Hogarth, you missed the big question that we were going to read on.
Oh,
what?
The one we were saved for the last.
Whoa! I know, but look, it's an hour's gone already.
Because I said put it last. Okay, let's do it.
Oh, all right. Let's quickly do it. Because I mean, we're quite over now, aren't we? My clock is kind of frozen a bit as well. I'm getting time issues here. Let's do a one-card pull for a message for the collective, and we'll end there. Yeah. Because we have gone over.
Reminding us, Lady G.
Yes. All right. Let's do one-card pull. What's the message for the collective for this, for people tuning in? All right. Let's pull. All right. After 3. 1, 2, 3.
Oh.
Oh, and what do you have? Aha.
Lady
What is
G,
that? Is that the Hill effect? What's yours?
Mine's the Wheel of Fortune.
Yeah.
Right.
And mine is to retreat and do some contemplation time.
Aha.
Yeah. And for
Lena?
me, it's time. We're all here for a reason in this time. So find out what your role is. You know, you can be effective at this time.
Indeed. And with my card here, look, we see here, we got the Temperance card here. So this is about finding balance. Balance, inner peace, and a balance between watching the news and finding out what is going on, but not obsessing over it as well.
Yes.
Understanding that the years ahead are eventful, but you can also balance that as well with your positive actions as well. Yes. So I'd say this is about finding the right equilibrium, 2024, finding the right balance within.
Exactly. And knowing it's a significant time in history. This is not just going to be, another year. I wonder what happened to 2024. Oh, no, it's huge.
Huge stuff. Well, I don't know how far I've got 8:09 now, so I think, mind you, we did start a little bit late, so let's leave it there. So thank you everyone who joined us live this evening. There were many of you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe if you'd like to support HoGaLe and keep us here. The ladies' videos, links to their videos are in the video description as well as the link to the questions and surveys and all sorts of things for the retreat in Rome. But I will do a separate video as requested because I don't want to take up time with that too much here. Thank you to everyone who donated as well and shared and sent questions. Much appreciated. Happy Sunday as well to anyone who is watching us on Sunday morning. And let's not forget as well, have a very, very happy New Year, because when we all see each other again, I think the New Year would have happened. For Lena, obviously happening in a matter of hours. So
yes,
I hope you had a wonderful 2023, or as good as possible. Let's hope 2024 is better. Big love, everyone. And I really wish everyone a very, very happy 2024. Ladies, anything you want to say in closing before I click off?
No, love to you guys.
Yeah, just love light to everyone, and may you have a beneficial year next year for a lot of spiritual growth.
Yes, good one.
Brilliant. Wonderful. All right, I'm going to try and end the show there. I clicked on it, but my computer is taking so long to bring up the end button. So
we might be bonded for another half an hour.
Yeah, I know. For some reason, it's really chewed itself up. So I might just have to, like, I don't know how to actually end it because it won't end yet. I'm waiting for the end button to come up.
It will eventually if you just hang in there.
Yeah, it's just not showing. But as you know, this is my thing about computer. Look at this. Oh my God, we're still here. I'm still waiting for the end button to show. Maybe I might just have to literally just click off the actual tab just to get it to stop. So I might do it that way. So I'm going to click off. But
I need to speak to you briefly for a minute.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to press the end stream again, but the button is not showing to actually end the show. Oh, typical, isn't it, guys? Typical.
Okay, you better.
Oh, here we are. Now it says end stream. I'll click on that, and then eventually it will end.